What up, y'all? It's your boy R to the A to the S. Yes, Roz here, but see what costs the blog. Today they're here to do a review of Willie Will, The Gift. Alright? Now, that title might sound familiar. There was a movie called The Gift. It's the direct opposite gifts. That gift you do not want. If y'all seen the movie, you know what that was about. But this time about the gift, we know who the gift is. Jesus, Jesus, the gift. Alright? Now, as you know, you probably heard this album. I finally had a chance to listen to it more than once. You know, kind of long, 50 songs. You know, this is sort of like an audio version of Roots. You know, the new one and the old one put together. Take a little long time to review it. It's like listening to The Godfather 1, 2, 3. All right. It's a long album. I don't know if it was meant to be listened to in one sitting. I guess you can drive. Maybe I can drive from here to California or something. Maybe I can get through it in one sitting. I don't know. But yeah, it's a long album. Now, thing-wise, this album sort of, to give an analogy, if you ever heard people, reform people, or what I call pollen posse people, they really hype up Wayne Grudem's systematic theology. Reason being is because that book, if you are, come from a reform perspective, a lot of reform people up that book because it takes a lot of biblical themes and just puts it all in one big book. Like a lot of the stuff in Wayne Grudem's book, I've actually read it. You know, it is nothing new, but it takes like basic stuff of Christianity and put it all in one volume, one big long book. And that's how I felt with this album. Sort of like a lot of these things I've heard before, but not on one album the way it was done. So it's sort of like, in a sense, like a systematic theology album. Now, like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking in that sense. If you've been following CHH, theological rap, nothing new like that. But, in this day and age, theological rap is, not really popular, not really done a lot. So this is different for 2016. Overall, sound-wise, I would say it's a boom bap album. There are definitely other genres. You got like some synth sound, maybe in a Jay Dilla type of way, like neo soul. You definitely got some old school 80s type of vibe, not to be confused with the boom bap of the 90s. You got some live instrumentation type of feel. I don't know if it's actually live instrumentation, but that's the way it feels. So overall, it's a boom bap album. Collaboration wise, there's some pretty good collaborations on here. The Phanatik, Grace Alone, and I noticed definitely that he has some Phanatik influence to him. You hear that throughout the album. Sometimes I have wondered, was it Phanatik? Not in a biting way. I'm not saying like, oh, he bit Phanatik and things like that, but you could definitely hear that influence. What a Price to Pay. I like Beto verse. Brother Beto blowing up. All right, going at Young, whatever his name. What's his name? Young Jerk or something. I can't remember the dude's name. Young somebody. Stephen, the Levite, y'all know him. You know he gonna kill the album. He goes last. You know when he go last, he gonna kill you on your own album, and this is no exception. Ambassador, I just thought he was okay on here. I know some folks would be mad at me, but I thought his verse was just okay. Timothy Brindle, now his verse was dope. I'm a Timothy Brindle fan. Single wise, I thought single wise was overall good. It was pretty some good singers on here. Not fantastic or great, but I'm real particular about singers, and it wasn't that bad. So I can appreciate that. Songs I liked on here, and this is not exhaustive. Remember, it's 50 songs, y'all. So I'm just gonna name some of them. Atonement Equation definitely had a Ghostface killer vibe to me. I like that. Nothing But the Blood. Kind of, Shy and West Pendleton remixed that song, and this is a different type of remix, a different type of vibe. But I like how Willie flipped it. God's Word, dope 90s vibe to it with the sampling. Love that. Loving You, another dope sample. This time Jeffrey Osborne. I love, and it's probably my, outside of the boom bap, probably my favorite type of beats on here would be the soul samples. I definitely like that the most, and this was just another one. And I just miss hip hop with them soul samples, even more than just straight up hardcore boom bap. I love soul samples more. Press song. I like how the female on here did the whole Erykah Badu on and on. I think she did a excellent job. And she sung well, not just on the hook, but even throughout the song, really giving it a dope vibe to it. Soli Deo Gloria. I'm a big fan of course, being from, y'all see it right here, big fan of Stevie Wonder's. And this is probably my favorite Stevie Wonder song. So him flipping that, just love the whole vibe of it. And I actually, and see, I might consider this blasphemous, I actually use All I Do as a worship type of song. I flip it to talk about, all I do is think about God. And I know some of y'all probably think that's blasphemous, but I do. I really love that song, and when I hear that song, I think about the Lord. All right, let me get out of here before y'all start throwing stones at me. Let's talk about stuff I did not like. Even though there are different themes and stuff, at the same time, it felt like sort of like the same type of things at times. Like, yeah, you hit song We're Sinners, then hit song like the cross, and sometimes it just had a redundant thing. Even though he was talking about different things, the way it was done, it still felt sort of like the same. Now I know, of course, I don't hate the gospel for you guys go that route. I'm not saying it, but at the same time, it just has sort of the same vibe to it. I wasn't feeling Trinitarian love. That was kind of average. The gospel, it was old school 1980s vibe, but I personally don't want to go back to the 80s. Yes, I like some of the music of that era, but a lot, I know there's going to be some of y'all mad, but a lot of that stuff was real amateurish, just bad. I'm just sorry. A lot of 80s music, hip hop was bad. I mean, you can go nostalgia wise, I get it. I was a fan of Run DMC. There was some good stuff, but a lot of that early stuff, man. And this just feels like that early amateurish, scratching, drum machine type of vibe. Not for me. And another thing I wasn't feeling is at times he sound kind of old school with his flow. Now when he does, and I'm sure he doesn't like the comparison, but for lack of a better word, when he does the Cool G rap, he's best when he's flowing fast. So he's going at. Sometimes when he slows it down, I'm just like, I ain't really feeling that, man. So those are my main complaints. Overall, if you were to take like some of the boom bap on here and just make it one album, I would say some of the boom bap beats and stuff like that could compete with the great stuff of the mid 2000s. All right, that era, the Latmo era, stuff like that. It could compete, and just overall, it's like interesting that he dropped it during this time period, because yes, there is a drought of theological rap, but it does make you wonder if this was dropped 10 years ago, where would we place this album? You know, what kind of attention would it get? I think it would be up there. But it's just interesting that he dropped it during this era. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Definitely got some more reviews coming. Ricky Rock, Mahogany Jones. So look out for that in the coming weeks. This is Receiver Carson Blog. Skip Bayless Suts, and I'm out.